All right, everybody. Scott Pierce here with the Egong at Listings to Leads, and we're going to be covering Facebook ad strategies and Facebook ads themselves and how to do it right so that you are not dipping your toes in the water and that you're going to have amazing success like other clients of ours that have gone from just kind of screwing around and thinking they knew what they were doing, but not really. And so we want to make sure that all of you are having the proper success. So Yi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I hope you're
Awesome.
having a great day.
I hope everybody is having a great day. And, to start, I want to bring up, because we're going to talk about this today. So, funny enough, this happened today, and I don't have enough data to say which one is doing better. But some of you may know Yi is a co-founder of Listings to Leads, but she's also a mortgage broker. Just got her license reactivated. And so she's got a agent partner locally, and they're doing an open house tomorrow. And he actually just went out and did an ad or a short form video. In
Video.
fact, he,
Yeah.
I wonder maybe if you can send me the link in the messenger. Do you have access to the messages in the StreamYard?
Um, I
If you
think so.
can, it's not a big deal, but I thought I'd share the video that you did
Yeah.
promoting the
Okay.
open house. So anyways, her and her agent partner are doing an open house tomorrow in Roseville, California. And it was kind of funny because the agent's like, "Oh, I did an ad." And you said, "Well, I'll do an ad too." And so it was okay, great. So they'll both do an ad promoting the open house tomorrow. And the top of the ad's the same, but the bottom of the ad is different. And so I want you to look here and see these images. So we got the front of the house
Mm-hmm.
and the kitchen on the bottom left, the pool
Mm-hmm.
center, bottom center, and then it's the living room, but it says 43 more pics, and you can kind of see, you can make out the living room back there. And then in the other ad, it is the front of the house, but pulled it's
Pull
back
back.
further,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of driveway, a lot of sidewalk. Then in the bottom left, more of the house, same shot, just different angle,
Uh-huh.
right?
The
Bottom
door.
center, yeah, the door. Remember I said yesterday, right? The client came in there and she's like, my ad's not doing great. And she had a staircase right there. And then, and funny enough, it's the same picture on the bottom right behind that
Right.
43. So both of you have, looks like the living room back there. So again, now that I've kind of pointed everything out to you, so we got this one. All right. And one more thing about this is, so, there's driveway and there's a garage door. You can't get rid of that. A
Right.
little bit of the house to the left that you can see. You got that great tree kind of sitting there right under the open house banner. And again, let's come back here to this one and here.
Mm,
And also notice the blue. So we got blue, open house in Roseville in blue. And it's kind of, it's blending into the sky a little bit. We're covering the tree more. I got the neighbor's house over here kind of smashing up against it. Totally standard in this area. So nothing, there's nothing earth shattering about that necessarily. But
I
of
have
course,
to have a conversation with the agent. I think this teal blue is her favorite.
yeah, and sometimes it may be perfect. I mean, sometimes it
Yeah.
may just be
But
absolutely perfect. Sometimes it may not be.
right, because it
And
blends in though. In this case, it just doesn't show well.
right, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so.
So
Maybe like a
sometimes you have to ditch your favorite color.
yeah, and just like what would look really nice and what would really pop. So imagine you're in
Mhm.
the Facebook news feed and people are scrolling down and there's other images, to the left, to the right that are sitting there, and there's other images in the timeline itself. And so, again, there's this one, and then we got this one. Now, both of these ads just went live today, so I don't have enough data. And who knows? I mean, literally, this one, I mean, it could perform better. I don't know. The stupidest things happen sometimes. But I think in a perfect world, I would want this image, this template to be the
Right,
one I
right.
run with. So that's going to be something we definitely talk about today. I want to make sure, because it happened yesterday too, right? A client got into the mastermind group and she, again, she had the main image was an overexposed image of the kitchen, and then she had a
Mhm.
staircase bottom center, bottom left. I can't remember what it was, but again, it was just overall a substandard image. And like we were talking about the other day, remember? I mean, homes are some of the most dynamic and
Right.
amazing things that you can sell. I mean,
It's
tell
not
me
like
something else.
it's not like you're selling a car, right? Home is
Yeah,
much more interesting.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and so we need to make sure that as agents, when we think about marketing that property, that we really take a look at it and go, is everything that we are doing looking great? And so I want to make sure
Mhm.
that you understand how to change that template really quickly and easily in the system. And Jane from Birmingham, Alabama, thank you for joining us. Todd from Jensen Beach, awesome, good to see you. All right, Christine from Amelia. Oh my God, Amelia Island.
Amelia Island,
Man, we got the South. Everybody from
South
California is
and
busy.
East.
Pardon me?
Man, we love you guys.
Yeah,
You guys,
where's Jensen Beach? I'm
yeah,
not really
great.
sure where that is. Do you know where that is?
Jensen Beach,
Yeah.
Florida? No.
I know, man. I know Birmingham. I know Amelia Island. That's down there. Is that down there by Sarasota? Or is that further down by Naples?
I
I forget.
actually don't know. Ask
Yeah,
Christine.
somewhere. Pardon me? Ask
Ask
Christine. Yeah, Christine,
yeah,
where is that? Is that near
and
Sarasota? Or is that further down by Naples? Nancy from North Carolina,
Carolina,
awesome. Northeastern tip. Northeastern.
Northeastern.
So by Palm Beach, about 45. Oh, on the other side of the state altogether. Okay. I guess I have no clue where it is. My bad. So the most northeast. Oh, okay. So over there by Georgia,
Oh,
then I guess. All right. Anyways, let's
well,
not get.
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, way north of Palm Beach. She says. So yeah. All right. So let's do. All right. So I am going to put at our blog. If you're watching this on recording down the road, if you go to listingsleads.com/blog and you find struggling with Facebook ads, so you can search, just put in struggling with Facebook ads and follow up. You'll find this. I will put this into the chat right here. I'm going to pin it to the top so that as people come in later, and just, I'm sorry, one second here. Jane says, just want to make sure that our picture is not showing like a Zoom room. No, 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 no. It's only myself and ye are seen. Yeah, this is not a Zoom room. Although if somebody wants to come on stage with us, if you got something to share,
You're
if
very
I know
welcome
you.
to. Yeah.
Yeah. So on this post right here, we're going to cover a lot of this today, but I would highly recommend if you haven't watched this yet, there are 3 videos. This video right here, the first one, is a call that we did about 2 or 3 weeks ago with Craig Johnson, and he has spent $2,200 over the course of 10 weeks. So that's about $800 a month, and 2 closings, 4 pre-approved, out looking at homes, others in conversation. And he talks about doing the ads, and he has all just listed open house. So he talks about doing the ads, how he does the follow up. We'll be discussing a lot of this today, but it is
Mhm.
great to actually have someone doing it to listen to as well to get their perspective. And then below that from last week is the call that we did with Gordon Day. And so here you'll just see, and this was, I'm telling you, at the 42-minute mark, that is where the gold really happened. I mean, the whole video is so good, but at 42 minutes, he really gets into the follow up stuff. What
Mhm.
he does the follow up, and people screaming at him, and how he diffuses all that kind of stuff. In fact, I got a email from Gordon earlier today.
Yeah.
This is going to absolutely help elucidate, I think, a lot of this. So check this out. So I was running an expired ad for him, so he got a lead off of an expired ad, and he didn't see it, and so he was emailing me. He's like, "Hey, where was that lead at?" So I was helping him with that real quickly, and he goes, so he goes, "I got a lead from the open house ad who came." So he had an open house.
Mhm.
If you hear me, I'm always talking ads. open houses. Those two things alone, marketed with listings to leads, your business is going to grow. It will absolutely grow beautifully. And so he's been now doing this for like 4 to 5 weeks. He's got multiple, he's got actually had a listing already, another listing coming up. He's got a couple of buyers out, and he's got more people that he's talking to. If you listen to him here talk, it's phenomenal. But today, 12:04 p.m. here, he was saying, I got a lead off of one of my open house ads, and she came by the open house this past weekend. And because of the way he does the open houses, right, with the way we talk open house mastery, they got into a conversation, and she wants him to come by in 3 weeks to give her a home value estimate. She's renovating right now. And then he says, everything is starting to come together. And then he says, I'm behind on calls. Mace, I'm at the open house, but I'm just getting so busy.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. He's not retiring anytime soon, people. He wanted to retire because he was not having any fun.
Yeah, if anybody here remembers this, I'll blow it up a little bit so we can all see it a little bit better here on the screen. But yeah, again, from last week, Gordon came into the mastermind group and said that he'd been in the real estate business for decades. And last year he was going to retire in 6 months if he didn't start enjoying the business again. And they goes, essentially we reconnected, we got them all squared away. He ended up canceling thousands of dollars worth of shiny object vendors who were promising him the best leads. Said it was the best decision he ever made. 152 leads in May, ad budget of 125 a week. So I mentioned earlier, right? Craig Johnson doing 800 a month. So that's like 200 a week, which is fine. You don't have to go that high, but whatever.
Just really quickly before, Craig Johnson was running on 3 ads.
Yeah.
So let me just correct
that.
that.
So like 60 to 70 per ad is really about what you want. So when Gordon does 2 to 3 ads a week as well. But if we do 3 ads, we'll do one maybe 50-50, and then we'll do a one for like a 3 or 4 day run at like $30 or $40, right? A little bit cheaper. So it bounces a little bit above 125 sometimes, but right around there. And you got the leads flowing right into his CRM, and he's having more conversations than ever. This is a 20+ year real estate veteran who he's had all the top websites, all the top CRMs, all the top coaches. I mean, he works with Ricky Carruth, for heaven's sakes. And I believe he still does. And he mentions that in the call that we did together. But he is now having more conversations than ever. And his pipeline is growing fast with leads that are closing, buyers and sellers. Thank you, Scott, for helping me go all in again.
Well, the crazy thing is, while he was talking to other real estate agents in the area, they are all literally dead in terms of business.
Yeah. I wish I could play video so it would come through on StreamYard, and I'll have to figure out how to do that. But yeah, at one point in this video here, he goes, yeah, you do. He goes, the other agent's telling me it's dead. It ain't dead for me. The way he said that.
Was funny. Yeah.
And here's the deal. The problem is, and I see it every single day in the mastermind group almost, and I see it, just randomly looking and checking in on people, that they don't take the time to learn what's in this third video. So if you click this third video, it'll actually take you to the mastermind group. And then from the mastermind group, it'll take you back to YouTube. And I'm not going to play this video, but this is the video. I call it the cheat sheet. Avoid these mistakes. In this video, I cover some of the stuff I'm going to cover tonight. But so later on, when you forget, some of the things, you just want to make sure. Because here's the deal. Why waste your time and your money? I don't know what's more important to me. Both time and money are critically important. And to that effect, not spending enough money and not giving it enough time is as bad as wasting your time by not doing it right, and wasting your money by not doing it right. And that's what most people do. They don't learn. They just think, oh, I can just throw anything up there
I hope
and
it sticks.
yeah, like this right here. Now again, this may work, but I would bet this will work better at a better cost per lead, and so you'll get more leads than this. Now this may perform fine, but I just think this will perform better. And what we want to do is in lead generation and follow up, we don't want to place bets on high risk, high return type things. We want to play playing safe is not the right way to say this, but we want to do we want to play the averages. All right. And the averages
Okay.
are
Yeah.
if you don't spend enough money, you're not going to get enough leads. Facebook, here's the deal. Facebook will not learn how or who to put your ads in front of if you don't have enough budget. You can look it up. If you have too small of a budget and if you're inconsistent, which right there, that's 98% of all real estate agents, you're neither consistent nor are you spending enough money. So when you spend enough money and you are consistent, what's happening with Gordon? What happens with Craig Johnson? What's actually happening with Yee? Yee right now is running ads. In fact, Yee, I got to get on you a little bit because you went for about 3 or 4 days, maybe 5 days. June 3rd, you almost went a week without running ads. I know you're just starting back into the game, but we got to make sure that you are staying on top of your ads as well. Because again, right, when the ads stop and you're not running other ads, it's almost like starting over again, both in your
Right.
because what'd you say to me today? You're like, oh my God, I feel you're like something about like calling people back, right? You're like, oh, I don't know. I could just
Well,
tell
I
you were,
forgot my script. Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because you went 3 or 4 or 5 days without having leads coming in. And now you're almost like starting over in a sense.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, oh my God, it's like when you don't go to the gym for a week and you go back to the gym, like, oh my God, I don't want to go to the
Like
gym.
5 pounds seems heavier.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And we don't want that. We just want this like what Gordon is doing, right?
I
Gordon
know.
and Craig is doing every day. There's new people coming in. And I thought one of the very, very cool things that Gordon shared in his call was he calls every day from, he makes his calls from 9:30 in the morning to 11. So for 90 minutes, he takes a half hour off and then he does one more hour of calling. And then in the afternoon, he goes off and does his other stuff. And what was really cool is I hear there's all sorts of people that will talk and say, you got to call them 3 times a day and text them 3 times and email them 3 times. You got to do this for 30 days. And, then Gordon's like, I got enough leads coming in. He goes, I call them once a day for a week. And then after that, they just go into my regular follow-up. He's got AI text follow-up. He uses Lofty. So he uses Lofty for his AI. Now, listings to leads, we've got AI text follow-up as well. It qualifies at what what percentage?
Oh, it's over 11%.
Yeah. So over 11% of the leads coming in will qualify, which essentially means they have agreed to take a phone call from you and or they gave up the location and the price range and some other information to the AI text so that you've now got a purpose and a ability to follow up with them.
Right.
And in fact, let's talk about that. Talk about how Craig and Gordon, actually, I think all 3 of you, how you're doing your follow-up.
Well, Craig, I think when AI text engages, or if he waits about on the 3rd day, he will send a video to greet the buyer. So that's how he does it. And for Gordon, I think, well, instead of sending the text follow-up, right, he calls them and then he emails them. He's like,
Right.
he said, I just tried to call you. Here's my email. That's how he starts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So Gordon, Craig lets the AI text start off.
Then he
Gordon
waits.
will
Yeah.
he'll call right away or as quickly as possible. But in all 3 cases, as soon as you've made contact with the lead, then go in and turn the AI text follow-up off. On the lead detail page, so when you're in listings to leads or whatever application you might be using, there's a little toggle. You'll see it in listing. I can't show you a lead detail page. I want to see if I got a screenshot. Next time I should bring up a screenshot of this.
So here's a good example today, right? I asked you. So AI text follow-up engaged with the lead. And
Right.
I called, I left a message. So I asked, what do I do? Do I text them as well? And your answer is, yeah, go ahead and text them and let AI continue to engage with them until you get hold of them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because you don't know how they're going to respond, right? I mean, you left a voicemail, you said?
I left a voicemail, yes.
Perfect.
And I
And
also text them
yep. And I read your text and that
on the
looked,
regular text, yeah.
yeah, that looked good. Because again, they just filled out a lead form.
Yeah, they don't know
They could be
you.
at work. They could be driving.
Right.
They don't hate you. That's not why they're not returning. They're busy with life. And so I think it's a fine line between harassing people and being a professional,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think Gordon does a great job of that. Craig does a great job of that, and that's why again you want to let the AI text work because the AI text is going to be boom. It's going to be almost instantaneous. And we just did a major upgrade to the conversation behind it. So now the AI text has a lot more leeway to offer different PDF guides, things like a list of price reduced homes for sale. We'll ask about
Mm-hmm.
downsizing. We'll ask about upsizing. So we'll ask a larger range of questions, but also offering value. So Listings to Leads has all those different guides, and we loaded a bunch of them up into the system. Not to rapid fire, do you want this, but over the course of the natural conversation, it's going to dip and pull into different things to create value, to offer value, to create conversations with that lead. And I think we're going to go from 11, hopefully to, 15 to
15.
20.
Yeah,
Yeah. If we go to even to 15, I think would be
that's
awesome. If we went,
phenomenal. Yeah.
yeah, but if we went to 20, that would be even better.
Mm-hmm. I
All right.
noticed
So,
like you can't give up on AI. Just one more thing.
yeah.
Um, there are a couple of leads. They actually responded to me after like a week. So you just never know. Just don't give
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. I mean, how many of us, there's something we want to do, but we kind of don't want to do it, but we also do want to do it. And I think people returning your phone call is one of those things where it's like, I want to talk to them, but I don't want to talk to them. And so, for that engagement to happen a week into it, should not be surprising, right?
No.
What would be more surprising is if they actually returned your call or answered and had a good conversation right off the bat. And to that point, again, go to that link I gave a little bit earlier. And
Mhm.
again, if you're watching the recording, listingstoleads.com/blog, type in struggling with Facebook ads and follow up. Craig's interview was phenomenal. Gordon's interview was spectacular. And then I got that third video talking about the cheat sheet, the mistakes to avoid.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Right. I mean, and talk about any other lead conversations that you've had that you want to share or anything of interest.
Well, I don't think you wanna be very pushy on the text, and you really just wanna be yourself. Like, I thought about different scripts. At the end of the day, you just wanna help them. So whatever that true authenticity that comes out is probably the best script you can write, and don't
When you watch,
overthink it.
yeah, when
Authenticity,
you
just be true to
authenticity.
yourself and just thinking you're gonna help them and not be too pushy, and it's gonna come out pretty nice.
And that's one of the things that really Gordon and Craig as well. I mean, when you listen to Craig
Yeah,
talking, he he didn't say it, I think, as succinct as Gordon did, but he gets to the same result.
conclusion, yeah,
Yeah, and Gordon was just like, "Hey, listen, I'm here to help."
yeah,
I mean, Gordon literally said, uh, you know, you fill out a form regarding one of my listings, and I'm just here to help, right? If you want to buy or sell, I'm not trying to push you. I'm not trying to whatever. I'm just here to help. And he's diffused people getting really kind of cranky with him, and
Confrontational. Yeah.
yeah, so, I mean, you can barely beat that. So here's the thing, Craig, Yee, Gordon, a lot of other people, start running it's almost like the deal of the
Stubborn.
week.
Yeah.
Almost like the deal of the week, right? And I would try to come up with two properties a week that you can run ads on. We have so many more things. You got your pendings, you got your just souls are amazing, all the PDF guides, the different landing pages. In fact, we got 3 price reduced landing pages going live tomorrow. I think it is.
Oh,
It's
nice.
either tomorrow or Thursday, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. Can't wait. So we'll be talking about that here pretty soon. But you can if you do just list an open house and borrow listings if you need to, and if you do 4 open houses a month, one a weekend, especially in the beginning to get that momentum going to where you've now got a lot of leads and a lot of people to talk to. Because remember what Gordon just said, right? He does open houses every single weekend. In fact, he does Saturday and
On
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah.
Sometimes he does 2 a day. And he is now to the point where he just said, and he said this last week, he's like, I'm enjoying the business again. I am, because the worst thing in the world is you're sitting there not talking to people,
Right, right. Yeah.
right? When you're not able to help out people, that sucks.
You twiddling your thumb trying to figure out what to do next. You should have
Yeah.
just run ads, find the listing that works, and
Yeah.
just keep going.
Yeah. So you can use, if you're with some of these companies, you've got carte blanche to borrow listings from anybody in the office. Take advantage of that. That
Mhm.
is that being good with borrowing listings to market is one of the best gifts you're ever going to get in this business. Again, imagine a car salesperson, imagine a watch salesperson, all these people, they can't necessarily go and do that, or they don't do it. Whereas in real estate, you can borrow a listing from another agent in your office. And even if you're with, I don't know, is somebody here with the independent, right? Unless you are a single sole proprietor, then maybe you can't do that as well. But then you probably got, you're probably all referral. So listen, find 1 to 2 listings that you would love to generate buyer leads for and seller leads for. It could be a listing that's a month or 2 old. It does not have to be a brand new listing. So when you market a listing, you're going to
Mhm.
generate different leads because your audience, the people Facebook puts it in front of, are going to be different, just the way it is, than another agent in the same office. So even if 2 or 3 agents are running ads on the same listing, that is totally fine.
Oh,
That is
totally. Yeah.
absolutely, so don't worry about that kind of a thing. And
That's a
don't worry
really
about
good
it.
point. That's a really
Yeah.
good point.
Well, I
Yeah.
think some people get bent out of shape like, well, if the listing is not new this week, there's no point in marketing it. Well, the
That's
thing I
not
would say
true.
is you want to make sure you've got a listing that is in the meat of the market. So,
Mhm.
and a good price point with a lot of turnover, good transaction numbers, good photos. So, when you're going to look at a listing to market, take a quick look at the photos. If it's empty, if it's poor lighting, if it's poor photos, skip it, go to the next one. All right. Bad photos are going to waste your money. We don't want to do that. Unless you're doing, ugly houses for investors or that kind of a thing. Normally, for the vast majority of you, all you want to pay attention to is in a good location for your business, whatever that means for you, a good price point, and does it have good photos? That's
Mhm.
all you need to worry about. Days on market doesn't matter. Who the agent is doesn't matter, except for the fact that you're going to get permission from them to market that listing if you need to get that. And then in listings to leads, just come and use the grab feature. So if I go add listing and grab, it will, and maybe let's see, grab, there we go.
Publishing. Yeah.
Just put in the zip code, the MLS ID number. If it's not your listing, uncheck this right here and hit grab. And here's the thing, even if you are a listing agent and maybe you get 1 or 2 listings, you can't continue to market those same listings week after week after week with paid Facebook ads. I mean, you can, but at some point the leads are going to start dying out. So just be careful of that. All right. Just be careful of
Mhm.
that. And so once that listing is in your account, let's just walk through here real quickly. Again, it could be just listed, active. We got an open house on this one. You can do coming soon. So, that's totally fine. But, for most of you, it's going to be either just listed, active, or open house. And when you click the green market listing button, Facebook and Instagram ads, there's only two things you need to pay attention to. Only two.
Budget?
Budget is one. So I got a $35 budget. At a minimum, at an absolute minimum, I would bump that to 50, if not 60 to 70 for a week. You are a business person. You have to invest in your business. What you don't need to do is go pay some YouTube personality $500 to show you how to do a video. And so happened to Carla, right? She's like, "Oh my God, I did I did a video," and she realized it took hours to do. I mean, it took her days, like 2 or 3 days to do these YouTube videos. And she was just like, "I don't have the time for that." Right. I don't have
Mhm.
the budget for hiring people. I mean, it's bad enough to do a short, right? You know how you film a short, holy cow. You film a short and you want to kind of tighten up some of the words a little bit, especially in the beginning with E here. So tighten up some of the words. Then I gotta do the captions. I gotta make sure the captions are spelled right. By the time I get that short, or by the time you get that short up on TikTok or Instagram, it's like a half hour for you got to go record it. That alone is about a half an hour ordeal,
Right.
right? Yeah.
But
So
that's a different conversation.
yeah, well, I'm just saying, agents love wasting money on so many things. And even Gordon, we saw there, 20 plus year vet, canceled $4,000 to $5,000 worth of monthly recurring
Yeah.
subscription stuff right there on stuff. Here's what you need. You need conversations. So you need to generate leads at a good price. And that's where listings to leads really comes in. Not only do we have a ton of marketing tools for buyer leads and seller leads. So when we talk about Facebook ads,
Mhm.
I promise you, I am not saying to not use those other tools. I am only saying use the Facebook ads as your kind of tip of the spear, but make sure we're using some of these other tools. And we'll be doing that for the open house. But so I said two things, and I got way off track. So budget, and then just check this image. Check your template. Does this look like something I want to represent? And that of all the photos that we have for this property, even if it's not your listing, are the 4 photos in this template right here the best 4 photos? And
Hey,
if they
can
are
I
not,
interrupt real quick? You said two things. One is budget. What is the other?
the photos in the template.
Got it.
Yeah. And the color could be a third as well. So we'll just say review the template is number 2. And within that is, do we have the best images? And then do we have the best, the color palette with the photos? Because it's always going to be different. Every listing is going to be different. And to fix that, go to change template.
Mhm.
There are only 2 templates out of 21 that we give you. And I would recommend, if you want to use your Canva templates, you can, but just pay attention to what I'm saying, even with that as well. So we got the first 2 here, the only 2 I like to use. We've got some over here that have your picture on them. Don't use those. We got some that have other things going on. Don't use those. Just use either the first one or the second one. So here's the first one, image on top. I like it. We got 3 images along the bottom. And if one of these are the front door, right? The front door. Now that was kind of a cool door. So
Yeah.
that the only saving grace of that one was that
Those are
door.
it's
That was
pretty
kind of a cool door, right? It
yeah,
was extra wide and it had all that stuff on it. So it made it look a little bit fancy in a sense, but your normal doors, not so much. So there's an edit right here. Edit. If I click that, now I can edit every image and I can change the color. I can change the text. All right, here's the color down here. I can change the color of that banner. In fact, I mean, it's almost cliche at this point, but I might go red, and I might go a little bit darker. I might see how there's a slider. I can go left to right. I don't like it all the way right or too far left, but I like it just about right there. So if you can see that, it's just kind of on the left edge of that color column.
Mm-hmm. I, there are only probably just a few seconds when this Facebook ad is flashing in front of interested leads, right? So you want to
Yeah.
have that just contrast color so people pay attention. Like when the color blends in, it just flies away, literally.
Yeah. We want to get people's attention,
Right. Yeah, totally.
right? We don't want to blend in to and Facebook is already blue enough, right? So we don't need to be, we don't need to add more blue on top of blue, right?
Maybe
So
we
there's a
need to change
kitchen.
the custom color to red. The
Well,
default.
we use the agent's default colors, which
Oh, got it, got it. That's
it's
why.
appropriate. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
people,
totally.
yeah. But I'm just telling you,
Mhm,
you don't have to use your brand colors in a Facebook ad all the time.
mhm.
I know it may seem counterintuitive. That's my brand. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Then do it. But I'm just, even with Gordon, he understands. Like, listen, it doesn't have to be blue all the time. Like, he's with LPT Realty. They got the LPT blue or whatever that color is. But if you look at his ad, in fact, if I bring it over, this is from last week, but let me just bring it over from the other monitor here real quick. So yeah, here, let me bring this over. We'll come back to this in a second. So if you look at this, it's a little small, but hopefully you can see it here. Let me go to slideshow. So red, blue, blue, dark blue, red, red, red. Now, it might be a little hard to see here because
No,
it's
no,
a
I
little
can
bit
see it.
behind these icons, but the sky is a light blue, and then it's a very dark blue for the status banner.
Mhm.
Yeah, this one's a little bit off, but hey, dollar. Oh, that was only 2 leads because that was the same day. But yeah, I think that ad ended up at like $3 per lead, which is still phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, there's a great quote from Angie here. Fortune is in the follow up. So we want low cost, good leads. All right. So low cost, good leads. That's what we're doing right here with the Facebook ads from listings to leads. And then it's just follow up. All right. And I'm not saying, you know, if you start doing 30-day, 3 times a day, could you imagine your follow up if you had to do every lead 3 times, 3 calls, 3 texts, 3 emails?
No.
Your day would just be destroyed by trying to do all that follow up.
Right. Oh, yeah, totally. Plus,
Yeah.
I'm doing other things as well. So I feel bad, like, you're right. Okay, Jesus, I didn't do that for 4 days, but I was trying to figure out how to do my videos, so no excuse
Uh,
there, people. Please.
yeah, 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 yeah. See, this is exactly where people get into trouble. This is exactly. I really appreciate that you even said that because now it kind of helps all of us and helps me out as well. And it is so true, right? We get into a bad mood. We go on vacation. We get this other project, and we just got to get that project out the door. We got to get that project on its way. And so it's so easy to say, you know what, this is going to be this will be the thing that gets me over the hump. Well, you know what? There's always another this thing. There's always another
Right, you
this thing.
have to do it. Just
This is the thing that will get you over the top. The
wonderful.
other things, you definitely want to do them. Yi right now is really trying to get into doing a video a day on different properties in the area. And that's critical. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. I think that's going to greatly help her business, but it is going to be it's going to be something that complements the ads,
Yeah,
right, with the videos. And then once she gets the videos down, then she can do other things. But don't be one of those. That right there is shiny object syndrome to a T, right?
well, you just cannot find excuses for yourself, okay? So if you wanna do this, you have to do it consistently. I just do it every day. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Check
because
your
I heard
daily budget. Check how the ads are running, making sure they're not over $4 or like, if the ad is running $10 per lead, you have to turn that off and restart.
yeah, and
That's the easiest way to do it.
I talk
Yeah.
about that in the cheat sheet video,
Mhm.
definitely what to do when your ads are not performing well. So real quickly here, let's go back. So we edited the budget, and Nancy, yes, definitely. I'll show you there in the profile in a little bit here. So again, it's budget, check your template, images and color, and just hit create ad. Save all of your mental energy for follow-up.
Yeah.
All right.
That's such a good point. Oh,
Yeah.
really quickly, people love to add the radius. Okay, 15 is the
Mm.
default. Leave at default. You don't need to go over to 20, 25, or try different locations, think this is going to perform better. No, just leave the default and 15 miles radius. And that's it. Change the budget to at least $50. It will be a lot better if you can get to 75 or 100, but minimum and minimum to 50.
Yeah. If I didn't mention it, then don't do it. Right. Notice.
Please do not try to think, "Ooh, this
No,
is
we
gonna be
have.
a better idea." No.
In fact, we should
Leave
actually put radius under advanced options. We really should. That does. I mean, because here's the deal for everyone that could now everyone's gonna. 'Cause here's what happens. People will go to the radius and they go 50, thinking, "Oh wow, I'm gonna get more leads with that."
it
No,
doesn't
you
work that
actually
way.
get fewer leads because
Yeah.
now there's too many people. So imagine if I had this water, if I fill up a very kind of a narrow cup, it's going to fill it up higher. But if my cup is super wide,
It's
well, it's
very
not even going to
shallow.
make. Yeah, it's going to be so shallow that you won't even be able to see the water hardly at all. So you got to, the radius is kind of like that. You want the radius. Don't just leave the radius alone. For every 10 miles of radius, you got to do like another 10 to $20 a week on your ad, and just don't do it. I'm telling you, especially in the beginning. Go, just trust me for 2 months. I promise you,
You're
in
gonna see
two
the
months
result.
is going to happen. It's going to be here faster than you think. What, June, July, August 10th or whatever. August 10th
Yeah.
will be here quicker than you realize. So don't, I know it seems like, oh, it's such a long way away. Uh, so Gene, here's the thing. If you do open houses and just listed open house active coming soon ads, you are going to get seller leads. You will get seller leads. You will get listings coming in. Half the people, probably about half the leads coming in own a home. They own a home. And quite a few of those people need to sell a home. So I would start with $125 a week on just listed, active, open house. If you got coming soon, that's fine as well. And then from there, if you want to increase it to like pending, just sold, or if you've got a pending or just sold, definitely do that for sure. Um, but if you're going to start running what is your home worth ads, those are $20 each,
Yeah.
$25 each a lead. And you're going to go, I don't want to say you're going to go broke, but what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to generate enough of them. Think about, just conservatively, let's say 5% conversion
Mhm.
after 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months. So conversion doesn't happen on day one. Even the best lead is going to be 60 day before you get a check, right? And that's the best lead out there. So, again, I don't like to go where I'm swinging for the fences, and if I don't get a home run, then I'm like stuck. I want to go where I can go the speed limit. I can drive down a nice paved road that's wide enough for my car. I don't want to have to be the guy that if I don't do everything perfect,
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to be.
fall off the road.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, we're playing for averages here.
Yeah.
We're playing for cost-effective leads and generate enough leads, and we know they're gonna convert, and it's great for ROI. At the end of the day, that's it. If you wanna go for, $20 a lead, it's not like you can, but you're not gonna generate enough leads or you're gonna spend way too much money, and it just does not become cost effective.
Well, yeah, and right here, right with Angie, even buyer and seller from, just listed. And she did growing family, which, just listed. I think just listed open house are more sustainable. And they just, I think, a better quality, but we do have growing family as well. And look at that, buyer and the seller. So, you will get, and if I go back to even what Gordon Day said, right? Gordon Day has not run one seller ad, and he's already got one listing. He's got another listing. It should be coming up any moment, $1 million plus listing, because he's doing open houses so that way he can meet people. See, here's the thing. Open houses are follow up, because here's the
Mm,
deal. People, they see your ads and then they come by the open house, and you actually get to meet them at the open house. And if you follow our open house training, listingsoleads.com/open house, you will turn your open houses into a seller showcase. If you bring your 100-point home marketing plan to your open house, you will turn your open house into a seller showcase. So if you follow our training, again, I know people, well, I'm too busy to do the training. I'm too busy to listen to you. Well, you're going to be not busy in 2 months from now. All right. Or you're going to spend way too much money than you would have otherwise. Right here. Check this out. I'm going to give everybody this video here as well. And there's another phenomenal idea about the idea of a seller showcase with the open house. And it doesn't have to be your listing. Right? It doesn't have to be your listing at all. What is the best time? Jane, that doesn't matter at all. The time of day absolutely has no bearing on your ad. Check this out. So this is a TV. All right. So it's kind of a built-in TV right there. And watch what's playing. I'm going to turn the volume off. We don't need the volume. And so a client told us they took the video from your Listings to Leads media library, and I'll show you where that is. And they actually play that at the open house. Man, all the neighbors are walking through. And this is what we mean by, and this is what Gordon said, I did the Facebook ad, I got a lead. The lead came to the open house. We had a conversation at the open house, because the way he does the open house is like a seller showcase. And now he's got a listing appointment in 3 weeks from that seller, from the ad and doing the open house. And that's not an accident. That is absolutely on purpose. That is the tactics and strategies of doing this, so that you are generating leads like $4 a lead, buyer leads and seller leads. Here's the open house training. I'm going to drop this, but again, it's listingstoleads.com/open house. If you got listings to leads, you don't even need a website. If you got listings to leads, a CRM, and MLS access, that is all you need. You literally don't need anything else. You don't need the fancy video program, the fancy email program. You don't need the fancy whatever it is. You just need your CRM. You need listings to leads, and you need MLS access. And you follow the training like what we're talking about. You are, and I know a lot of you have not been in the business as long as Gordon, but you're probably feeling like what Gordon felt at the end of 2024, when he was saying, I'm giving this 6 more months and I'm out of here.
Right.
If this doesn't turn around, and think about how depressing that must be. Right. And I don't know, but I would be, if I was thinking those thoughts. I would not be a happy camper. I want to be thinking like Gordon is now. Things are and have turned around. Right. He's talking to people enough to where he doesn't follow up on the phone after 7 days. And that's his decision, because he doesn't need to, because he's got more conversations coming in. He's already having enough conversations. Now, I'm sure if he need to go 7, 8, 9, 10 days, he will, but he doesn't have to. So he's not doing the 3x3x3, and getting a restraining order put up against him. Nobody wants to be that person.
Yeah. You want to address Nancy's question?
Oh, about sync?
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely do. And for everybody on here, now, real quick, let's, Nancy, we'll go to you first, and then we're going to go one more thing, because we have the AI text, which is phenomenal. And if you don't have something, then I highly recommend you take advantage of our service that we have. But in your profile, under CRM, I don't think sync is listed, but that's no problem. So Nancy, what I want you to do is ask the sync people, and I'm going to drop this in for you just so you got it. Ask them for this thing. It's called a lead forwarding email address. And it's going to be a funky looking thing. It's going to be like, I mean, your name may not even be in it. It may be like listings to leads at sync.3684.xlmop. Whatever. Like, it's going to look funky. And your first thought could very well be like, there's no way this will work. Now, I've seen some that are very standard looking. Either way, you'll take that, you'll just drop it right here. I know we got people from Sync, and then I've never heard them complain, so I'm assuming it works. So you'll drop that email, click save, and then we work behind the scenes. It's all set up. You can't see what's going on, but then it will take all those leads and drop it right into Sync. For tags, let me just show you real quickly the tags, because you'll want those leads not just in Sync, but you'll want the tags so you can route them, hopefully get them to a follow-up plan automatically. And for that, go to, not market. Here, let me back up. You can just click the property address.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be in the edit area. And there's kind of two things. Tags is one. And then your CRM may have something called source. And you can just change this value here as needed. But the tags are right here. And we got some default tags, I think. I think we have some default tags. I don't see them right there, but like, my account is so jacked up at this point. So I'm going to assume when you go into your account and you got your new listing, these listings have been in here for probably 5 or 6 years at this point. But I believe we'll have like buyer, and it will have like the address, so on and so forth. And it will have some of the other key attributes in there. And then you can always add some more if you wanted to. So Nancy, does that help out? Yeah. Good to go. Hopefully. All right. Hopefully that worked out for you, Nancy. Anybody else? And yeah, we're almost at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, 5:52. I think that's pretty good. Go ahead.
Can I say something about the Facebook budget?
Mm-hmm.
So you run a Facebook ad, and please check on a day-to-day basis just to see how well it's performing. So, people run ads and they just let it go. No, you have to check it for two reasons. One, if the ad is not running the way it should be, sometimes Facebook is funky. It get into some loop, it can get out. So you got to reset it. But if it's running really well, you want to extend the budget, double the budget, and extend the date.
Yeah. I actually talk about that. Yeah, I talk about that here in the video, but let me just show you. I'll show you real quickly, but at this post here, in the third video, I go through all of that. I cannot stress enough this video right here. But to Yi's point, let me just show everybody. So let's say I've got an ad, and it's running. Let's say it's running for $2.43 a lead. Right? It happens all the time. So I don't want that to end. Oh my gosh, I want that thing to keep going. I might want to spend a little bit more money for it. And how about? I'm sorry, Nancy. What's the question? Can you explain that a little bit better for me, please? So what I'm going to show you here is, again, you got a great ad. So it's $2.43 a lead, and it's day 4, day 5 of the 7-day ad run. Come in here and just click edit right there. Edit. There's a little pencil. Edit. Click on that. And scroll down to budget. So there'll be a section right here, budget. Open it up. And so whatever you have the current budget set at will be right here. So in this case, 70. And so I had 243. I want to throw in another $100. So I'm going to go 170. So now it's a total budget of $170. And I want to extend it out for another week. So to the 24th. Hit update. And now the ad will not stop after it hits the initial $70 budget. It will not stop on the 17th or whatever it was. Now it's going to spend 170 and keep going until the 24th. And that way,
Mhm.
Typically your ad cost, over time, the ad cost per lead may go up just a little bit, but it's not very common to see an ad running for 4 to 5 days really well. And then
All of a
all of a
sudden
sudden
goes
out of
up.
nowhere
Yeah.
just blow up. Yeah, that's not going to happen very often. Like a custom audience, can we do that here in running an ad? Yeah, totally. So, and that would be more for the seller ads typically, not for the buyers. You can for the buyers. There are applications for that. Uh, like your database, maybe like, for example, if you got a database of a lot of people and you want to put ads in front of those people only, you can do that. Craig doesn't do it. Gordon doesn't do it. E doesn't do it. Most people don't do that. Let the Facebook algorithm. Now, again, there could be complete certain circumstances where that's appropriate. I just want to make sure. What I want a lot of you to avoid is trying to outsmart the Facebook algorithms, the Facebook AI, you know, proven low cost, budget friendly opportunities to really grow your business, generate leads. And I'm telling you, every so often somebody will come in there like, all of my leads, all the phone numbers are no good. Of all the accounts I look at and manage, and ye as well, we just got your ad running earlier, and within like an hour and a half, I had 2 leads. Both were good phone numbers. Both are
Oh
good
yeah.
emails. Gordon says 75 to 80% of his phone numbers are good. Not 100% of anything is going to be great, but don't.
I've not got one bad phone number.
And you've got over 25,
Really,
30 leads.
yeah, not one bad phone number, except for one was a landline. That was it. Or one did not provide. Yeah, no, no, no. It's like, yeah, not one phone number that was bad, which was like shocking.
Yeah, yeah, that's shocking. That is shocking. But don't believe the hype when people start mouthing off about how, well, all the
Oh
phone
bad.
numbers are
Yeah,
bad.
no, it's you get at least 90, 95 good numbers on
Yeah,
average.
well, I'm gonna say 80. I'll hang my hat on like 80%. But yeah, no, I know I know you're over 95% good phone numbers.
Yeah, except for one that was a landline. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
couldn't
And sometimes, yeah, and I tell this to people that want to go
yeah,
after like the 55 and over crowd. And I'm like, listen, a lot of those people, especially, in the 70s and, maybe their 80s even, uh, these people had a landline when Facebook first came around, and
yeah,
maybe they still have a landline. And so when they signed up for Facebook, they had their landline in there. And then because I've seen that in our AI, in the very beginning with our AI, it was kind of annoying. We didn't differentiate between a bad number and a landline. So I would see all these, bad phone number, bad phone number, bad phone number. And I would look it up and like, well, that's a landline. So now we will let you know if it's a landline, a bad number, like a fake number, or or a cell phone number. So you'll know immediately if you're using our AI text follow up. And I mean, yeah, it's 75 to 80% average are going to be good phone numbers. So
yeah.
Nancy, does that kind of help out? I don't want to dissuade you from doing something, whatever you want to do. But what I really want is I want you to play the averages, like you said, right? Hey, there's going to be someone in a mastermind group, Facebook group somewhere that's going to be like, oh my God, I got the perfect funnel and I did this, 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 and this, all these things. And I tapped them, blah, 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 and I'm doing phenomenal. That, oh my, I could,
Oh, I'm sure there's always going to be exceptions.
there's always exceptions. What I
Yeah.
want to make sure is that I was an agent. I've worked with so many agents. I don't want people going broke. I don't want people, being promised something and spending. I know you people. I was one of you. And I hear from you all the time, oh, I spent 500 on this. I spent 800 on that. I spent 1,500 on this other thing over here. Right. Because somebody somewhere said this was a really great thing to do. And the next thing you know, you're just like, holy crap, I just blew $3,000 and I don't really have anything to show for it. right? I got one good seller lead that may list in 6 months.
Yeah, then
No.
you start to wonder, did I really sign up for this right? Like,
Yeah.
is real estate cut out for me? You
Yeah.
know, I'm going
We
back
don't
to
make
you
any
may
money.
wanna retire.
Yeah, we don't make any money by you running ads the way we're talking about, right? I don't
Like,
make
all the
extra
ad
money.
budget goes to yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, like, service charge, nothing. Everything that's on your ad budget goes to running the ad
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, Nancy, no, I tried running an ad. Yeah, Nancy, I'm just gonna tell you, they're not all bad leads. I just, I've worked with too many people on this. You gotta stay consistent. And even with Gordon, I'll tell you, and you will watch his video, watch Craig's video, because you got to give it 4 to 6 weeks before you start getting really I don't say judgmental, it's not quite the right word, but I know with
You
Craig,
you have you start to see the momentum shifting.
yeah, yeah. The first couple of weeks, yeah, you might be generating leads, and again, because the algorithm is not putting it in front of the right people, your follow up is whatever. Maybe a little bit of the luck of the draw, but I'm just telling you, you got to give it 4 to 6 weeks minimum. You got to spend $500 a month minimum.
Mm,
You don't have to spend like Craig did, $800. But Nancy, I know, I don't know you personally, but I know agents will spend 800, $1,000 on something just because they heard somebody say how great it was, and on total anecdotal evidence for the most part. You know what I mean? I don't make any money on the Facebook ads, but I'm telling you, uh, we're playing the averages here. And I'll tell you, we talk about this with Gordon in his call. It took about 6 weeks for him to
mhm.
really see, like, because imagine you're cooking and you're boiling the water, and in the beginning, well, the flame is hot. I see that flame hitting the bottom of that pan.
It still takes
Not
a
hot
while to
water.
boil.
The water's not hot, right? The
Yeah,
water's hasn't changed. The water, your stove is no good. The fire is no good. The water's not hot. Well, give it about, in this case, 2 or 3 minutes. The water is going to be hot, right? Give the ads, give the follow up, give everything a couple of months, a month to month, 4 to 6 weeks. You're going to see the difference, and especially
yeah,
like I said, combine it with open houses, combine it with the other tools and listings to leads. And like I said earlier, the Facebook ads are a tip of the spear, but you got to be doing these other things as well. So don't just do a few Facebook ads and then go, oh my God, it's no good. Make
yeah,
sense?
yeah. Can you show once the leads come in, there's this more button, which is so important?
You know what? Yeah, let me take this off here, go to the other monitor, and let me just find myself real quick. And that way I can, because I can't really, I don't like to show lead details.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, no, but let me just see if I can find myself as a lead. I don't mind showing. Yeah, here we go.
I think that might be good to show.
Hmm. And no,
The
you know what?
Gordon does that
Actually,
all the time.
it doesn't show.
Oh, okay.
Well, oh no, no, no. Yeah, here, no, it will. But I don't have the AI text turn off switch on mine because again,
Mm,
I'm just always doing testing in here.
mm,
But what you was going to refer to, what Gordon makes use of is, so you'll get the lead will come in, right? And so Scott, and the phone number will be right here, the email address right here, and you can go more, search email on Google, and then if there is a phone number, right, if there was a phone number over here, right below that would say search phone on Google. And that is a phenomenal little. So if you don't have something like this available in your CRM currently, use this right here because you will find home addresses. And this is how I know with Gordon, like over half of the leads he's generating, like probably 60 to 70% of the leads he's generating own a home, because we get the address, he looks it up, and he's able to say they own a home. So use this tool right here. Uh, it'll help you confirm a phone number. You may find the spouse's name. You may find their actual home address, and you can look it up and see if they actually own that home or not.
mhm.
If you got a good email, email's a little bit more weird because, like, Gmail or Outlook will not return anything sometimes. So email can be a little bit goofy, and even the phone number, right? Like earlier today, I did a phone search, and the phone number, 10-digit unique phone number, nothing. And actually, it was one of your leads, and I know it was a good lead because the AI text engaged with it. But I
Right.
wanted to look it up to see if I could find an address on it, and it came back like nothing
Mm.
was found for it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I'm like, I know it's a good number because the AI is
Is
interacting.
engaging with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a perfect thing, and it's not going to work all the time. And you may have another, like in sync, may have something for that. But if not, you can use that. So again, it's on the lead. Click the lead's name in listings to leads. And then in the upper right, it says more. And then you can search email, search phone. So yeah, but again, key point here, doing this for 2 to 3 weeks for $50 or $75, that's not going to work, right? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about spending $500 minimum a month. I would say 500 to 600 in the sweet spot. So 125 to 150. Try to find 2 to 3 listings a week to market. Listings are your inventory. You can do, we've got all sorts of landing pages. We've got all sorts of things that you can do. And all of that has a place. But if you focus on what I'm telling you to focus on, you're gonna start building that business, and you start doing the open houses like Gordon's had 3 open houses now in almost a row, where he has got listings out of the open houses by
Mm.
advertising and doing them the way we train on. He has had 3 open houses where people coming through have come in off the ads, and then while they're there, and it could be a nearby homeowner letter, it could have been the e-flyer to the seller, it could have been his e-flyer to the database, it could have been the Facebook ad. So the marketing, bringing people into the open house. He does the open house as a seller showcase. Obviously, it's a buyer showcase as well. And just like the woman that I read off from his noon email, she wants him to come over. They talked at the open house. She wants him to come over, I guess, in 3 weeks, or she sent him an email after the open house, whatever it was. Right now, he's
Yep.
got another listing opportunity coming from it. Yeah,
Like you gotta do all these activities so
yeah,
they complement each other.
yeah. Like I said, Facebook ads are just the tip of the spear, but you still
Mhm.
have the entire arrowhead. You still
Mm.
got the shaft. You still got the feathers at the end of that spear or the arrow. So the arrow is not just the tip, right? That's the fun, exciting. That's the part that does a lot of damage. But there's a lot more behind that tip than just the Facebook ad. All right, listen, I could talk all night, but I don't think we need to. Nancy, by all means, please ping me later. But do both of us a favor, Nancy. I would say start with the Gordon Day ad video. Like you got the link right there. Start with Gordon Day's video, and then if you have time or want to watch Craig is kind of funny. We had a good time with that. That's a great call to watch as well. And then make sure to watch my 6-minute video on the same page right there. And last thing I'm going to say is people get scared, people get nervous, they get not confident about it. I get it, but we just have to work past that and get through it, and you'll see good things coming out on the other side. Now, if I was selling $1,000 course, uh, I could just take your money and run. That'd be awesome. So I don't make any money on you running ads. I don't make any commission on this. I just want to see that you
You
have proper
succeed.
expectations and
Yeah,
that you succeed.
right.
Right. What if
So
I had 3 new
Nancy has one more question.
Well, Nancy, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. If you got 3 new listings, yeah, do 50 per each. Yeah, 100%. And just I would say, so run the 3 listings. Ping me tomorrow if you want to. Run the 3 listings, and then watch them. And then like day 4, day 5, if your cost per lead is really good on 2 of them, but not so good on another one, maybe you decrease the budget on the bad performing one. You increase the budget on the good performing ones, and you can run that for maybe depending on your market. You might be able to run for that with 2 to 3 weeks, and then you're gonna have to kind of see, after week 3 or 4, is the cost per lead now starting to really increase because they've kind of played these out in my local market? Does that make sense? And you might have to then go find some other listings. But yeah, if you got 3 listings,
Oh my God,
you
that's
might be able to do
amazing.
that for a month. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got people that do $200, $100 to $200 a week on one listing. So if you got 3 listings, you should be able to go. That might be good for 4 weeks. And
Nancy, I want to see you at the VIP club. Okay, whatever company you work for, the
oh, the
VIP
top
club.
producers, you mean?
Yeah, the brokerage. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Nancy, who are you with? You've been a client for a long time. I think your name. I know your name. Yeah, Nancy Braun has been a client for quite a while, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah. But if there's nothing else, I'll let everybody go. It's a beautiful day. I want to get outside as well. But yeah, Nancy, feel free to reach out tomorrow with me. Everybody else, of course, you can find me
Thank
in the
you so much.
mastermind group. I'm always around. And with that, have a phenomenal night, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.